Hello. For today's review, my very first review, I'll be reviewing the 1988-1989 two-part classic from Marvel Epic, The Silver Surfer Parable, by Moebius and Stan Lee. The plot involves a spaceship that lands on Earth. It turns out to be Galactus. And we kind of see how Earth reacts to this new threat and this new god, and how the Silver Surfer will challenge Galactus. What I really like about the book, plot-wise, is that it's not related to Fantastic Four 48 to 50. It's not a retelling of the coming of Galactus. There are elements. We actually get the idea that this may be the second time that Galactus has visited Earth. And you really don't need to know much about the characters to enjoy the book, which is great. Like I said before, it was printed in 1988-1989 as a two-parter, so it is a miniseries, with the pencils, inks, lettering, colors done by Moebius, aka Jean Girard. He's a French comic book artist. He did some amazing work with Jodorowsky. For any Dune fans, you'll know who Jodorowsky is. He worked on many comics with him. I recommend The Inkle. Also another comic that Moebius did, The World of Adina. He's done many, but those are some of my favorites. Really fantastic artist. Great line work, great detail work. To me, he's easily one of the top 5 of all time. Right up there with a Kirby or a Fiona Staples. Some of the best artists working today for sure owe a lot to Moebius. And scripts done by Stan Lee. And Stan, obviously his impact on comics is, undeniable. But he really elevates the language here. This is not your typical punchy comic book. This is really something that's elevated. And Stan is such a fan of literature and art and reading. And specifically, he really loves Shakespeare. He said multiple times that that's one of his favorite authors. And, not that his language is Shakespearean, but it is elevated. And he definitely flexes his muscle, but so does Moebius on the art. The book is just phenomenal. You have two titans of the industry. Jean Girard, who this is the first American comic book he got to work on, really kind of showing everybody how it's done. And Stan, again, reminding you that, I've written some, comics from the 60s with language that's serviceable, but I actually can write. And this comic's also such a lost art today. We have so many digital artists. We have so many artists who really never use pencil and paper and real colors. And I relate this to film that, something shot on digital, it's still film, but something shot on actual film is really something special. The only gripe I have with the book is the subplot is a little rushed, but what can you do? It's a mini-series, it's only a two-parter, but the subplot is rushed, the characters are just slightly uninteresting, but they execute a emotional change in the subplot or an emotional impact to perfection, so it's not that big of a deal, but that's really the only gripe or negative comment I have with the book. A lot of the themes that I picked out are devotion, blind faith and devotion, and hope. It speaks a lot to the Silver Surfer. For those of you that have read comics with the Silver Surfer or know anything about him, he serves this master Galactus. Galactus kind of destroyed his homeworld and made him his servant, and he looks for planets for Galactus to devour. And he's always been this character that questions authority and questions Galactus as a god, and is really an introspective and intelligent character, and you get to see a lot of that. And I love the banter between the two in this book, and it's just got so many amazing lines of dialogue, such amazing artwork. The action set pieces are crazy, and some of the one-pagers, for those of you that don't know, like a one-pager is where an artist just basically gets to do whatever they want. They really show their artistic ability with this one-page splash, and some of the ones in here are just some of the best that you'll see in comic books, period. Been reading for 20 years, and this book always reinvigorates my love of the genre. It always gets me excited to read more and look for more. And even though this is probably my fifth or sixth read through this book, it still seems so fresh, and it's really timeless. A lot of these themes you talk about, not questioning, following blindly. I mean, gosh, if that doesn't apply to some of what the U.S. is going through, I don't know what does. But really recommend this book. Good luck finding it is the only problem. Marvel does not print this. I don't know why. It's easily the best thing they've ever printed. They've done some reprints and some graphic novels or, trade paperback versions. Your best bet's probably walking into a comic book store and getting the 2-issue. A lot of people don't know about this story, or if they do, they kind of just have it in the back issues. So I'd start there. Definitely go for your local comic book stores first before you go online and look. eBay's probably another last resort. I mean, when all else fails, I'm sure you can get this I know you can get this digitally, but there's really something to be said about reading it in the format that it was printed in. And that 1988 and 1989 two-part is just really, really awesome to have and really awesome to read. So, there you go. There's my review of The Silver Surfer Parable by Moebius and Stan Lee. Hope you enjoyed. Let's keep the comments, keep the comments going, and I would like to hear what you guys have to say, and definitely send me some recommendations on what to review. If you pick up this book, what you want to hear next. Always happy to keep the discussion going. Hope you guys like this. Look for more. This is Matt Reviews Comics, and I highly recommend The Silver Surfer Parable.